Bro, just snatch that motherfucker. Give me the ball, homie. It's my rock. And I'm hitting the end zone. You know what I'm saying? It's pay dirt out here. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Easy catching this motherfucking thing. Throw that thing to me. You know how I handle it. You know how I get down. And the left hand is just, that motherfucker nasty, bro. You can't see me, bro. Hey, welcome to another video, y'all. And we got to get into it because there's some teams out here that, some quality teams that took some L's that you wouldn't really expect them to be taking L's. You know what I mean? So let's talk about right now the lesser of the group. It hurts me to say this, but the Buffalo Bills, bro. What is going on in Buffalo? Where are these struggles coming from? What happened? Josh Allen threw for 27 to 41 for 265 and 2 touchdowns and an interception. But what is happening? Those stats are Bills winning stats. They put up 25. They lost 25 to 29 to the Patriots. Of all fucking teams, the Patriots, who have you've been skunking for like the last 5 years. Like, seriously, y'all been skunking these dudes for a minute. And now, you go out there and lose a game to them? You let Mac Jones walk you down and give y'all a game-winning touchdown. What is happening on that defensive side of the ball? Shit, what's happening on your offensive side of the ball? Let me drop something on y'all here. Josh Allen is throwing 41 fucking times a game. Probably more because I guarantee he ran for like 65 yards. Or 45 yards. Why, right now, everything concerning the Buffalo Bills is on the back of Josh Allen. You can be like, nah, yes it is, bro. Look at the film, bro. Win or lose, it is on the back of Josh Allen because he's literally having to do everything. Literally everything. Only thing he can't do is play defense. The man's running. The man's throwing. He's having to put you on positions to win all the time. Josh Allen has to do everything because you have no run game in Buffalo. You have zero fucking run game in Buffalo, man. Why don't y'all have a fucking run game? You have to figure that out. Josh Allen's throwing 41 times. You shouldn't have to throw 41 times. There's other games where he's throwing damn near 60. Why does Josh Allen have to throw so many times for y'all to even be close to winning a game? That's unacceptable. Even when you're up, bro. You're up. You can be up by like 14, 15, and he's still out there throwing. They are not clocking people because they can't. Their run offense is god awful. I like James Cook. I like him. But is he the guy to run your offense as far as the run game? No. He is not. He is not. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know what you do with that. There should be a happy medium between runs and passes, bro. The league average right now is like 30 passes a game. And in that span, you can also get like 32, 33 rushes in. You can. It is a stat that can happen. It indeed can happen. All you have to do is do it. If you have the people to do so. But no, they are so like, bro, Josh Allen's backpack has got to be heavy right now. Because they filling that bitch up. He has to do everything. He's got to do it all. Am I being a little biased because I'm a Josh Allen fan? Maybe. Be honest with you, I might be. But looking at the film, look at it, bro. Josh Allen has to do everything. If he's not throwing, he has to use his feet. Sometimes he is your leading rusher. A lot of the times, he is your leading rusher on that team. Like, bro, that shouldn't happen. I know you say, oh, Jalen Hurts runs though, but who's the leading rusher on the Eagles? Right now, it's DeAndre Swift. Last year, it was Miles Sanders. Yes. Could Jalen run? Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't on his shoulders to do everything because the run game worked. Run game worked to perfection. Our offense was built off the fact that our run game was so superior. So that way he's not having to throw 40, 50 times a game. It didn't need to happen. And it shouldn't be happening right now in Buffalo. Josh Allen has to do a lot. Do a lot, bro. And now they're losing games because he's making mistakes. Because he's having to do it every single fucking series. He does. That's a lot of pressure to put on a guy. That's a lot of pressure to put on a dude. And it's a bit unfair. I did see a thing where people like, Josh Allen's famous off the back of he had a decent game where he lost to the Chiefs. Cool, I get it. He did lose that game to the Chiefs, but let's get something understood. There's 13 fucking seconds on the clock. In which most games you would think that's fucking over. Patrick Mahomes is an alien, dude. And it doesn't help that you're playing prevent defense and you're letting the fastest dude on the fucking field get a wide open catch and just sprint. That's not Josh Allen. That's bad coaching. That is piss poor defensive coaching. It's not Josh Allen. That is defensive coaching. And it was bad. And because of it, they lost that game. Josh Allen didn't even touch the ball again. But until they establish a running game and they can half it out, half and half, you're going to have losses like this. You're running the dude dry. You really are. You're going to run him dry. Because you're putting so much pressure on this dude. Unnecessary pressure. Okay? Unnecessary. Speaking of unnecessary pressure right now, San Francisco lost to the Vikings 17-22. And right now, it seems like San Fran is in fucking panic mode, which I don't understand why. You're 5-2. You're 5-2. You're still, what? Right now, you're third place in the NFC. But what are you panicking for? Deebo Samuel was out. Christian McCaffrey's high-key playing with an injury. But, hey, man, Brock Purdy did his thing. 21-30, 272, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Okay, I'll give you the 2 interceptions because one of them was bad. At the end of the game, that was bad. You shouldn't have threw that. There's no time to panic. Hey, man, this is something that every quarterback does. It was just his time to have it happen. This was his time for it to happen. He had a boneheaded situation, boneheaded throw, resulting in an interception late in the game that sealed the game. Who hasn't done it? Who hasn't done it? Jalen just did it last week. Boneheaded decision, threw in the double coverage, turnover, they score a touchdown, Jets win the game. Are we going to crucify the man for it and be like, no, dude? It happens. Everybody is permitted to have a bad game. Last week wasn't a bad game for Brock Purdy. That was a defensive juggernaut game. And that's what happens. He still walked them down and put them in position to win against Cleveland. His kicker just missed a field goal. what do you want from him at that point? Now, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not advocating for the fucking 49ers. I'm just advocating for Brock Purdy himself. 49ers, you can go get fucked. But in this gesture, I'm going to be non-biased and tell you exactly what it is. It's not Brock Purdy's fault. Your defense gave up 22. Your defense gave up 123 to Addison himself. 123 with 2 touchdowns. I say, what do you do? I mean, hey, dude, you got to figure this out. Hey, your back end just got shredded that day. And one of them touchdowns was just like, bro, you going to give me that? Pause. Bro, just snatch that motherfucker. Give me the ball, homie. It's my rock. And I'm hitting the end zone. You know what I'm saying? It's pay dirt out here. Give me the rock. You know, it is what it is. That is a situation where you can't do nothing about that because homeboy played great defense. Ward was right where he needed to be and should have been an interception. But homie said, I'm tougher than you right now. Just like Ward said earlier, I'm tougher than you right now. And took a pick from him. So he was like, nah, man, you're not going to get me again. And he, give me that shit. Fuck you talking about? And he got him. Get me mad at that. Hey, man, it happens. But they're allowed to have, Brock Purdy's allowed to have a bad game. The man was like, what, 10-0 before these 2 losses in regular season play? 10-0, bro. He started out a career great. That's Mr. Irrelevant starting out a career 10-0 in regular season play. 10-0. But here's the thing that they say. They say that of all the people on that team, he is the weakest link. Well, look who's on the team. George Kittle. Top 3. Okay, top 5. Tight end. Hands down. Okay? You got the Swiss Army knife in Deebo Samuel, who is a Pro Bowler. You got your Pro Bowler, Christian McCaffrey. Them 3 alone are superstars. Then you got your up and coming out of Brandon Ayuk, who is turning into a superstar and a very reliable receiver. And then you got Trent Williams as your offensive lineman. So right there, you got 5 perennial stars. Right there. All you got to do is go out there and not fuck up. In which he's been doing 10 games during the regular season where he has done it. And he went out there and handled his business. Did he not just whack the Cowboys? Did that team not just go out there and whack the Cowboys? Yes, they did. They did. That they did. Now I know this is probably the same because they've lost to, I'm not gonna say lesser teams, because that defense for Cleveland is out fucking standing. Number 1 defense in the league. Number 1 total defense in the league is the Cleveland Browns. Look it up. But then you're losing to the Vikings, who defense is subpar, very subpar. What are you going to do there? But you're allowed to have a bad game as Brock Purdy. Just like Jalen Hurts is allowed to have a bad game. Stop crucifying these guys after 1 game and be like, oh, he's not the answer. You don't know the answer yet, fool, because he ain't. Come on, bro. Come on. Give him time. Let him play ball. Let him get his bearings. The season's still early. What are we, midway through the season? Midway. Getting into the November time frame where, now when starting to get a little, starting to hurt a little more. Loss started to hurt a little more. But he's fine. Give him, he's going to be fine. Do not panic, San Fran. Your team is going to be fine. Okay? Don't fucking panic. A team that I personally still don't believe needs to panic. The Dolphins. Okay? Are the Dolphins fool's gold? Yes, what the Dolphins do, it's real pretty. Put up big numbers, have a lot of rush yards. Tyreek going for like 180 because he's just breaking off like 7, 8 motherfucking long touchdowns and shit, you know. But they went against the Eagles team that is going to hit you in the mouth. They lost 31-17 to Philadelphia. Tua had, 216 with a touchdown and an interception. And by Tyreek Hill's standard, this is a bad game. By Tyreek Hill's standard, this is a bad game. For anybody else, this is a decent game for him or for them. But for Tyreek, because of the caliber of player he is and the amount of yards that he can rack up in such a fucking quick amount of time, this is a bad game for him. He only had 88. He didn't crack triple digits. He had 88 with a touchdown. There's a few drops he had too. Like legit, like, brother, you should have been he'd been walking in the end zone. If he was just lock, look it in. Boom, good to go. Nope, he dropped one. But for Tyreek Hill's standard, 88 with a touchdown, that's a bad game. Like, just being real with you. And you be like, nah, that ain't a bad game. Anybody? Yes, it is. For Tyreek, this is a bad game. This is a bad game for him. Now, if you tell me, like, fucking T. Higgins went out there for 88 and a touchdown, I'd be like, hey, bro, 8. But T. Higgins ain't out there putting up 165, 180 yards. Hey, man, what can you do? Jalen Hurts went out there, 279, 2 touchdowns and an interception, and a fumble. But, like, on a real, retrospect of the situation, the Dolphins had 17. Really, they only should have had 10. They legitimately should have only had 10. Jalen threw a pick 6, which led to that bullshit. But, in all honesty, Eagles defense stifled them boys. Stifled them. Big play Slay coming through with the pick late in the game. Make it harder for them to, be able to do what they do. And this is the one thing about Miami that teams need to realize. You have to make them one-dimensional. You have to. You take away their run game and they're having to pass on fucking day. Amen. Amen. You just saw Eagles do it. You just saw Philly do it. Philly made them one-dimensional. You know how many rushing yards they had? 46. 46 rushing yards for the whole game. Mostert had games where he's putting up 150. He had a game, he had like 118. Held that whole team to 46 yards rushing. So now they can't use their bread and butter. They couldn't use the play actions. Didn't work. You made them one-dimensional. You took away their power. This is the result you get. A 31-17 victory. Which should have been 31-10 if you don't throw an interception. Can Miami beat elite teams? Philly's an elite team. Bills were an elite team. I don't know what the fuck now. Dallas. Say what you will, but Dallas is an elite team. Can you beat the Jets? Now, Jets offense, is it great? No. but they have an elite defense. And as you see, any defense that makes you one-dimensional, you struggle. The Bills, they made them one-dimensional. They struggled. Miami, you're going to have to face good teams. You're going to have to face these quality teams. Especially in the AFC. Because you might have to see Baltimore. Great defense. You may have to see KC. Solid defense. You might have to see Cincinnati. Pretty solid defense. You're going to see Buffalo again. Solid defense. You're going to see the Jets. Elite defense. Can you beat these elite teams? If you yourself want to be called an elite team, you have to answer the fucking call. And you got to beat the big dog, bro. Got to beat the big dogs. You have to. That is a necessity. You have to beat the big dogs. Because you're not getting no fucking teams like the Broncos and shit in the playoffs where you just put up 70 points on. It ain't going to happen. You're not putting up 70 on the Eagles. You're not putting up 70 on San Fran. You definitely not doing it against Baltimore. You definitely ain't doing it against the Bills. And you damn sure ain't doing it against the Jets. You're not putting up those type of numbers against them. You have to claw out nitty-gritty, nasty wins. This was the gripe on the Eagles throughout the fucking year. Oh, they're not winning pretty. So fucking what? They're winning. So what? All that matters is getting the dub. It may not be pretty. I'm all for taking ugly wins. All for, as long as it's a fucking dub. You're not going to win pretty all the time, Miami. You can't. You have to find out how to grind out these ugly wins. Ugly wins build character. Because when it comes playoffs, you're not getting pretty wins. Period. Across the board. It's not fucking happening. You have to grind out ugly wins. You got to go out there in the fucking meat grinder and get a dub. Can Miami do it? We don't know. We'll see as we go down the line. They'll be having 2-star cornerbacks coming back, Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard. Both will be back here soon, if not next week. So we'll see how they handle themselves out there. We'll see how they do. They have to, hey man, you have to figure this out. Nitty gritty. You gotta win ugly sometimes. Teams that can do it go a long way. In Miami, if you want to be a team that goes a long way, you got to find out to grind out these wins. Period. But hey, man, I'm going to get off y'all for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you live. But you already know what it is. It's Fly Eagles flying this thing. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Thank you for coming to another wonderful video. And you know I'm your host with the most, easy catching this motherfucking thing. Throw that thing to me. And you know if I catch it with the left, that's nasty. Hey, look, bro. You know the vibes. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. And if you're watching this video at the end of it, or even at the beginning, hit that like button, man. Help me out. Help me grow. I'm still a baby in this thing, but I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get step by step higher and higher. And that starts with y'all too. Hit that like button for me. Comment, subscribe. If you haven't, come on, hit that subscribe button too. Welcome. I welcome all. Thank you. I appreciate the support. And y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. I'll holler at y'all in a bit. You know the vibes.